Good, what is it, 12 o'clock, morning, afternoon. How you guys doing? Okay, so let's get social media out the way. My name's Danny K, my Twitter handle, @DannyKMusic. If you like my speech, if you don't, please use my other Twitter handle, @JSomethingMusic. So the question you're asking, what the hell am I doing on the USB Unlock stage? Valid question. Well, I tell you what I'm not doing. I'm not here to help you with your money, raise better than that. I'm not going to help you with HR. I think some P-Ware is better than that. But what I am going to do is tell you the story of a young South African kid who dreamed big, worked hard, failed a lot harder, and somehow managed to survive 20 years in the cutthroat, shark-infested waters of the South African music business. So where did it start? I was born different, ready for the stage at an early age. Give me an audience, and boy, would I perform for them. While my friends were on the sports field, where was I? Listening to music. Now, looking at that picture, I know what you're thinking. That is one ugly-ass couch. And you'd be right. But it was the 70s. I don't know, you can ask my parents. I was fed a strict diet of the world's best music on that couch. Motown, soul, and R&B. I studied the greats, guys like Stevie. Very superstitious writings on the wall. Marvin, I've been really trying, baby. Trying to hold back this feeling for so long. Let's get it on. I mean, I was 8 years old. I didn't know what I was getting on, but I sang it like I was ready to get it on. And I can't forget my man, Michael. Said you want to be starting something, you got to be starting something. Ow! MJ. Those were my heroes. I became obsessed with learning everything about the music business. And at 16 years old, I was ready to take on the world. Or so I thought. I convinced my parents to drop me at downtown studios on the corner of Goat and Fox Street in Johannesburg, downtown. A mecca of music entertainment at the time, where legends like Hugh Masekela, Johnny Clegg, and Ladysmith Black Mambazo recorded. I walked into Studio 4C to audition for the biggest R&B producer in the land, Alexis Faku, one of the greatest. If I convinced Alexis to work with me, it would be my first step on my journey to being a superstar. Alexis challenged me to sing Stevie Wonder's Lately, a tough, tough song for any vocalist. I cleared my throat. I looked at Alexis because, hey, I knew Stevie Wonder, baby. And I said, lately I have the strangest feeling with no vivid reason here to find. Alexis looked at me with a puzzled expression on his face. He was like, I didn't realize that voice was going to come out of that geeky-looking white guy. I mean, I dressed like I was a black guy, but please believe me, I knew I was white. Alexis stood up and agreed to be my mentor. And how important is mentorship for everyone who's successful in life? So, so key. And for me, Alexis was my man. We thought it was going to be easy. We got in the studio and we started writing. But what faced us was 7 years of rejection from every single major record label in this country. Now, I say it in passing, 7 years, but it was January to December for 7 long years. And those were tough times for me. A lot of tears, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of anxiety. But I couldn't get a deal. I couldn't get a breakthrough. So I went to Wits, and I got a degree in law, and I went on to Wits Business School and studied an MBA. My parents were ecstatic. The music business looked like it was far away. I began working for a big corporate investment bank, suit and tie, 9 to 5. One last-ditch effort, I sent a small demo to an independent label called Electromode Music. The record exec, Chris Galakis, phoned me and asked me to come to his office for a meeting. I walked in. He looked at me like, all right, we thought you may have been a black kid from Chicago or whatever, because your voice sounded very different to who's walking in the room, but he signed me then and there. And for Alexis and I, 7 years of rejection was finally over. We had done it. And why did we get rejected for 7 years? Because we were different. I mean, I can't comment on that vest, quite frankly, but we were different. And people are scared of difference until you're successful. So what did I learn about rejection? that it's simply a matter of opinion, and not to let someone else's opinion of you become your reality. That was the hard part. Now it was time to get in studio and make music. Alexis and I got in to Electromode's studios in Randburg and wrote this.
And now I'm all alone and it hurts so bad. I didn't see it, but she came between us and baby.
Anyone remember that song? Now to make you feel old. That song was 17 years ago. 17 years. And I'm still trying to live that haircut and that shower scene down. I'm telling you. But you see, something was cool about the way I looked in that video, because the Portuguese thought I was Portuguese. The Lebs thought I was Leb. The Greeks thought I was Greek. And even the Colours from Mitchell's Plain said, no, Danny Kaye's from Athlone, man, I'm telling you. But Hurt So Bad went to #1 on the charts for 4 weeks. And I became an overnight sensation. Can you believe it? And then something more incredible happened. The biggest record label in the world, Polydor Universal, heard about my success and signed me. I flew to London. The press heralded me as a hero, and I was ready to record my big international album. Then my record label manager phoned me one day on the verge of flying to Miami to shoot my first video, and he said, mate, you've been dropped from the label. And I was like, you see, the guy who had signed me had been fired, and in a vindictive move against him, I'd been dropped from the label. I had to return back to South Africa to face my own fears, a press that wasn't particularly kind, and my own failure and disappointment. But I did it. I picked myself up and I started recording what would then be my second album. I got back in studio, and with the help of my brother, I started working on what I really thought was going to be a very big special album for me. And then on the 8th of June 2003, my life would change forever. My brother would be tragically killed in a helicopter accident. And even today, it's difficult for me to look at that picture and understand that Jaron's not with me. If I thought I'd faced adversity in my life, it was nothing like what I was about to go through. I turned to my art, my creativity, my family for strength, and I wrote this song.
I can't imagine a life without you. No, I can't imagine, but now I have to. And I'd give anything to see you again. It's true.
I dedicated the album to him, called J23, and that year it was nominated for 5 South African Music Awards. J for his name, Jaron, 23 for the year, for the age he was when he passed away. I put on a suit and tie and a brave face and went to the Psalmers that year. And I lost every single award that night. I was devastated. Through my tears in the hotel room after the show, I glanced at the clock and it was 23 minutes past 11. Now, I'm not the most spiritual or religious man in the world, and call it fluke, call it a sign, but that's what I needed to wipe my tears away, put on my suit, and get hell of a drunk at the bar that night afterwards, which I did. And 12 months later, I was back on the Psalmer stage, winning Album of the Year. Thank you. I'm saying it not to gloat, but I say it because I believe in turning tragedy to triumph in your life. And that life is a gift of time, and we all should make the most of that gift. And that pain isn't a reason to quit. It's an opportunity to become stronger. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just part of my keynote speech that tells the story of my life that will hopefully help and inspire the people that work for you, whether you're the CEO or the tea lady. We all live very similar lives, just on different paths. So book me, and I'll be glad to come into your offices, your boardrooms, your conferences, and use my 20 years of experience on stages across the country, across the world, to deliver a very special message that I think so many of us need to know. That it's not the way, and it's not what life throws in front of us. It's the way we react to the challenges in our lives that ultimately shape our futures and the people that we'll end up becoming. Thank you very much.